upon a time, there was a sweet nun who loved her students very, very much. All she wanted was for them to learn the 10 Commandments.
Do not have other gods besides me. Do not make an idol. Do not use the Lord's name in vain. Remember to keep the Sabbath day holy. Honor your mother and your father. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not give false testimony. And do not covet. And that, children, is the 10 Commandments. You all need to live by that, or you will go to hell. Now, for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us as we forgive.
What do you think is going on in here?
Well, I'm just teaching my class.
No, you're not allowed to preach the Bible in public education. You can teach it, but you can't preach it. Don't you know that? That's the First Amendment.
Oh, darn it.
But there was hope for the nun and her favorite student. That Sunday at church,
So those are the 10 Commandments, which you're going to have to live by if you ever want to reach heaven.
Hey guys, what are you doing?
Oh, hello. We're just reviewing the 10 Commandments because we were so rudely interrupted at school the last week.
Well, you understand why you got kicked out of the classroom, right?
No, I don't.
It's against the Establishment Clause in the First Amendment. Separation of church and state. In 1963, there was a court case in Pennsylvania. State law required all public schools to read at least 10 verses from the Holy Bible at the beginning of every school day.
Well, I don't see a problem with that.
Well, actually, 2 families sued the school saying that it infringed on their rights and went against the First Amendment. The First Amendment states that you have freedom of religion and you can exercise your religion when you want, as long as it doesn't infringe on other people's rights or involve the government. So inside these walls, and not inside the walls of the school, you can teach her whatever you want about this religion.
10 Commandments, my child.
And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Wow, this beautiful story makes me want to learn more about the First Amendment. I think I'll Google it.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances.
So basically, the First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, and the right to petition. It forbids Congress from both promoting one religion over the others and also restricting an individual's religious practices. It guarantees freedom of expression by prohibiting Congress from restricting the press or the rights of the individuals to speak freely. It also guarantees the right of citizens to assemble peacefully and petition their government.
All right, so we're just gonna talk about the First Amendment and freedom of religion. There's 2 clauses. Establishment is the first clause, right? And basically talks about the separation of church and state and the government. You can't have religious stuff on government property, including schools, as you've seen in our video. And government cannot favor any particular religion, and there has to be the separation of church and state.
You can go ahead and talk about the exercise clause as well if you want to.
Okay, and the exercise clause, you can practice your religion however you want on any public property, as long as it does not infringe on another person's rights. So like on a street corner, you can hand out flyers, but you can't make people take the flyers.
They have to take it by choice. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to talk about speech here. There are 3 types of speech.
Well, but
Yeah, you just messed me up really, because I had something in my head that I was going to talk about, and
she's gonna go.
There are 2 types of speech: protected and unprotected. To be protected, it must pass 3 tests. Clear and present danger. So if it can't put anyone in danger or hurt anyone's feelings, right?
Right.
Incitement.
You can't make people do something illegal. That's
And
illegal.
balanced.
You have, like, if you have an open mic night, everybody has to be able to have equal opportunity
Equal opportunity.
with
That's
the
so
mic.
good. Unprotected.
Not to be confused with the 14th Amendment, just equal opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, under the law. It's not. This is speech based.
First Amendment. The three types of protected speech are pure speech, speech plus, and symbolic speech. Pure speech is words. Speech plus is, I think, media.
Twitter.
Facebook,
Tweeting,
Insta, you know.
IG,
Symbol-
yik yakking.
Yep,
You can
symbolic.
yik yak. Plus, like, if you're holding a sign and talking.
Oh, okay, so like if you're like writing and you have like
Yeah.
words on your sign, saying "Don't vote for Obama."
Yeah.
Okay, and
Don't.
symbolic
Don't
speech.
do it.
Okay. Symbolic speech is like we talked about the kids who wore the wristband
The
to
wristbands
school
to school.
to to petition against war. That's symbolic speech by using a symbol to express yourself. In unprotected speech, there's three ways to tell if it's unprotected: defamatory, fighting words, and seditious, which basically means it can't hurt someone's feelings, or if it does hurt someone's feelings, starts fights, produces violence.
And it can't say anything about the government. Look, like, you can say something about the government, but it can't be like,
I'm gonna bomb the White House.
yeah,
Can't say that.
arrest her now. You can't say
I
that.
didn't talk about press.
Oh, press the best of the best.
There are two things that go into freedom of press: prior restraint, which is a type of censorship, and you can't post anything unless it is truthful.
Yes.
Would you like to go
Uh-huh.
into prior restraint?
Yes, prior restraint is a type of censorship dealing with the press that is illegal, because you cannot just keep things out of the public eye, because that's illegal, unless it has to do with the military, because the military can use it if it's like national security at risk for like top secret missions and such. Then they're allowed to the stuff to keep the nation safe, because we don't want to be unsafe. And then as you can post anything, like, as long as it's true, you can say whatever you want, because like if there's something bad about the governor because he said something that he regrets, but the newspapers type it, they are allowed to do that. He can't make them stop.
Unless he buys all of the newspapers and he pays for them, there's nothing you can do about it. But he can't just say, don't post that, because it's true.
Can't use government money to buy all of them.
Right, it has to be so. The fourth part of the First Amendment is assembly and petition.
Fourth and fifth.
Yes, fourth and fifth, my fault. There are three parts to this. The time, manner, and place must all be appropriate, peaceful, and public. So you can't be standing on a street corner trying to, or in the middle of the night screaming, yelling terrible, awful things and waking people up in the neighborhood, because that's inappropriate. That's not peaceful. It is public, but it's not peaceful. And it's,
An inappropriate time.
yes.
So like the protests in that city in Illinois.
About the boy who,
Yeah,
yes.
that one.
The boy who was killed by the police officer.
Yeah, in that city,
And they were going
riding.
crazy and breaking into stores and hurting people.
Yeah, that is not an appropriate time. Well, sometimes the time might have been appropriate, but it was not a peaceful manner at all. So it was illegal. And then the speech that you use must be protected. So if you're going to carry around signs, kind of like back with that would be speech plus. Carrying around signs while you're petitioning, and it has to not be unprotected speech, and it also must pass the 3 tests for protected speech.
And that is First Amendment.
First Amendment, go number 1.